Hello, class. Today I'm going to be talking about the two things that stood out to me in the week 5 readings and videos and module 5 in a whole. The first thing that stood out to me was the importance of having a warning system. We often, as we have in this class, talked about resilience, and a key way to be resilient is being on top of the issue. That's why warning systems are so important. If you have a warning system or little triggers or components or like any type of variable that can tick off the people in the company that there may be a problem or there may be an issue, this is a key way to get on top of the issue, which is why they're important to have within any business, business, athletics, anything, which is another thing that I've been seeing more and more as this class has progressed. The relation between life, business, athletics, like it all can bunch into one. Just like if you're a captain on a team and you can see teammates starting to slump their shoulders or get upset or starting to say things back to a coach, these can be triggers for you to get on top of it, for you to grab that teammate and be like, hey bro, like we have to be better. If you're a leader in a business and you see your employees work start to take a dive, or their amount of production starts to take a dive, that can be a sign of burnout. That can be a sign of other things that employee has going on, which is another way for you as a boss, as a leader in that company, to say, hey, like I see these XYZ are happening. Let's take the steps so we can get on top of that and adjust and be better. That's one key thing that I've taken away from this first few sections and looking into module 5. The second thing I took from module 5 came from the video, the What is Organization video. So often we think about being adaptable, and I like the reference he used in being agile instead. Typically when I think of agility, just like athletics, I think of how quick you can move, how quick you can get in and out of a break. And it's the same concept when it comes to businesses. When you talk about being adaptable, more times than not, when you adapt to something, that's after something happens. As if you're a boxer. The boxer throws the first punch. Now you're reacting. You're adapting to how that person fights. And in the video, the person talking had a very strong and key point where he said, it's important to be able to move at the same pace as the world changes instead of waiting for the world to change to move, which goes into being agile and not adaptable. This is another thing that relates to athletics as well. Athletics, life, or business, because as a business owner, you don't want your business to always be a step behind or a step slow. Something happens now, your business has to react to that. Or if you're an athlete, something happens on the court, you have to react to that. And I know I tend to reference athletics a lot, but for me, still playing my sport and seeing how relatable these are to all each other, and me trying to take what I'm learning from here to my sport and what I'm learning from my sport into the real world in a couple months, that's the best way for me to not understand, but kind of relate the two. But there was a quote in the agility video that basically says the natural pace of change in an environment, the nature and pace of change in an environment or organization. So when you are adaptable and with agility, you're able to change and make corrections and improve your company or business as the world is continuing to change and continuing to maybe prevent problems and things of that nature. When you're being agile, you're able to get on top of these problems as soon as they occur, instead of waiting for the problem and then, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. Because by the time you're trying to find out 2 to 3 solutions to fix what already happened, something new is happening. And those 2 solutions might not even be relevant. They might not even be able to be used because of the changes that are made. So for me personally, I would just say these were the biggest 2 key factors that stuck out to me in this week's modules. Being agile instead of adapting, and the importance of triggers and warning signs when it comes to resilience.